Hello and welcome to Patch. I'm your host Paul James. Today I'm on the fantastic Pop C for the Players set featuring Mr. Pop C, Ryan Betson.
Hey man.
It's good to have you back. We did this last year at PAX. Remember there was a few
We
of us there?
did!
Yeah, but it was just this slap together. Hey, we're crammed in this corner. Barjo's making a whole bunch of noise. We're trying. Oh mate, Dylan gets something like, hey, can you
Yeah,
turn the volume down a
it
little
was funny, yeah, because I was when you
just
said
told Barjo to shut up.
because when you said you wanted to do a patch today, I'm like, yeah, man, I don't think I've done one before, and then I completely forgot that we did that one time. Yeah,
Easy
that we
for you, 'cause we
hushed
just-
one of the biggest
the most
streamers in Australia.
You're just having your own conversation. Can you shut up?
Yeah, can you shut your fuck face trying to record?
But it's
it?
also the same guy that grabbed my ass a few years ago, unsolicited. So that story will live in infamy. We're today. Actually, no. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about everything that Pop C does.
Oh,
Who are you? Where's your bread buttered?
Hey,
Blah, blah, blah,
for those that don't know, because Paul's been over on our shit a couple of times. I am like the big guy at Popculturists, the website that's built out of my fucking spare room in my house.
But you wouldn't know it when you look at this shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the best quality episode we're ever gonna have.
Yes, we're a personality-based YouTube channel and sort of podcast platform, I guess. We have two shows, one being the For the Players, the Popculturists PlayStation podcast. We also have a professional wrestling show called The Young and the Wrestlers. So it's personalities, podcast, PlayStation, pro wrestling.
It works on so many levels.
All the MPs.
What's another P that we can add?
Purple.
Yeah, okay.
Everything's purple. But yeah, that's what I do.
And it's going really well. How long's it been going for now?
The Popculturists in its infancy. So when it started it's been 5 years since we started as Pop C. But back then it spent just under 2 years. It's about a year and a half as a radio show.
Yeah.
And then it transitioned to YouTube, but with a different company. So we were still the same thing, but we were like a subsidiary of them. And then we went solo about 3 years ago. We've been doing that ever since.
Now talk to everyone about how you're favouring your chest at the moment, because it's you just can't.
So I have a son. He's 2.5, and like me, he likes watching wrestling with me. And one of the funner things we like to do is we like to wrestle each other because it's a good father-son bonding and it's fun. Saying that though, I Samoan dropped him. And I think I pulled my pec because it really hurts.
Or even tore it.
Best worst case scenario, like as you can see, I'm not a very, very physically fit man. So like I just have exerted myself. I'm like, you know what? This is WrestleMania in the Betson house.
Exposed muscles.
I'm going all out. Yeah, going all out. Like I went for some speeds. We did a couple of big, dirty DDTs.
Works a treat.
Yeah, and then I hit my bird.
So we're talking PlayStation.
Yeah.
This is a topic of strength for you, just in case you didn't understand that, seeing this in the background. And we're talking about next gen for PlayStation. Basically, we're looking at what does PlayStation need to do to maintain, I guess, their position as the runaway leader that they were this gen. We can look at that through a whole bunch of different perspectives, the games, services, the console itself, whatever. Maybe we even start with the console. Are there things that are missing from the PS4 that we need to have PS5 that maybe you're already seeing in Xbox, or what Nintendo's doing, or whatever that needs to be present?
In terms of just it needs throughout it's baffling. It's baffled from day one that they never had it. Was a Ultra HD Blu-ray player.
Yeah, because Xbox had
Blu-ray is a Sony owned product.
Yeah, and they don't support it properly.
They don't support it. So as we head towards the idea of these 4K televisions, 8K televisions, whatever, people want to jump on that higher quality thing. Like if I buy a Blu-ray now, it's got to be the black box. It's got to be the 4K. Like I've hit that point in my
you have to pop that in your Xbox.
Yeah, I put it in my Xbox
because PlayStation doesn't do it.
Yeah, and that is a problem. And let alone the size, the disc that they use would ideally have more space, that sort of stuff. So it makes sense to put that in place when games do get bigger, because they will get bigger, as we see with Red Dead Redemption requiring 2 Blu-ray discs. If I
didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah, they need higher capacity Blu-rays, and I think with 4K level Blu-rays, they should be able to do so.
So good starting point.
Yeah, so that's probably the base point, I reckon. Yeah. Because other than that, the internals are pretty much the same.
Because we're basically moving to PC architecture across the board, so it's just bigger and better.
Yeah, so it's just stepping stones. Like we're going to obviously need better quality CPUs, better quality graphics, whatnot. But in terms of what I want out of it, specifically in terms of its hardware, I want Ryzen the AMD Ryzen chip in there. Ryzen's dope. I think it's awesome. Its ability to multi-core is second to none. But in terms of graphic fidelity, I don't want to see this 8K or whatever they're talking about. I just want a consistent 4K, a guaranteed 4K.
If they push
not
further,
this super sampling, whatever. Yeah,
Super Saiyan.
They can push above it if they want, but like, give me 60 4K.
Yeah. It's a weird sort of thing because 4K is not really standard in most people's households anyway. Like there's still like the adoption's still way behind where HD was when PS3 came out, or even where PS4 was when it came out. So
that's the problem, because the point of difference
8K
between
is a massive jump that just going to service 0.1% of the addressable audience out there.
Yeah, barely. Because the big difference between like 1080p and 4K is not that much.
Yeah,
like when you went from standard def to HDef, like there is a noticeable increase. Now, for those that when you actually sit down and watch some 4K stuff with HDR, that sort of stuff enabled, you can genuinely tell the difference. People get mouth drop difference. Yeah. But when you go to the shop and you look at it, it looks almost the same.
Well, they're all tuned in a particular way to really make them shine and pop anyway.
But it still looks a little bit. It still looks kind of the same. It's like, oh well, it's just slightly prettier, right? But once you sort of showcase it in its best light, you can understand why 4K is going to be huge.
And so 8K will be another jump as well, but it's just not a necessary one, really.
No, I think when they mentioned that in the sort of the little presser they did a while back, I think it's more of it has the potential to be 8K. We're not going to do 8K. We've barely got 4K games working, but like the power in it is of that much. Like
it could do this.
Yeah, we can't guarantee you like fucking 5 frames per second, but it can do 8K. The other thing for me is focusing more on the processing rather than the graphic fidelity, because I think we are hitting that point of no return.
Diminishing returns.
Diminishing return. Sorry, point of limit return. Yeah. So as in the differences we're going to get are so minimal. Like, but if we can make the game smarter instead, like build smarter worlds, build smarter AI, just those sort of things. Like in the same way that if you use Shadow of Mordor as an example, like
with the Nemesis system,
that no one imitated, like that's removed,
which is still crazy to me. I don't understand how no one did it.
Like they removed that from the PS3 version because the PS3 simply couldn't process it, and that's what we want. We want that level.
Those sort of
this
jumps.
Is where the back end stuff is so smart that we can't put it on the PS4.
And you talk about going back, and this maybe not so much a hardware thing, but maybe software or kind of some of the internals, and going back with compatibility. Let's get PS3. We know PS3 is the really tricky one. It seems to be for everyone, but let's go back as far as we possibly can. PS4 is great. It's a good start. Yeah. That's awesome. And the fact that, the PS4 games are just forward compatible, awesome. But let's go back as far as we possibly can. Yeah,
and I think that's probably the biggest hurdle they're going to have to face is getting all of it. Like we can play PS2 games right now on PS4, and that's a big thumbs up there, of course. PS1, it's surprising that they don't. I think the only reason that they don't is because most people are using Full HD or 4K TVs. If you try to load up a 480p PS1 game, it looks additionally anus on a 4K TV.
Yeah, it does. It actually makes some of the flaws of the technology at the time look even worse.
Yeah, so like that's the biggest hurdle that PS1 has is that polygonal, like the very early concept polygonal era is gross. Like it's very tough to look at. Like the benefit of
it's the whole Squall from Final Fantasy VIII face thing.
Yeah, unquestionably. Like in the same way of like with SNES and NES, like they look smooth. They look slick. There's something about that sort of 8-bit, 16-bit, and that's why
that style.
Yeah, that's why that style keeps becoming more prevalent, more prominent, because it's popping up because it looks good.
Yeah,
where you never see games that look like PS1 games or 64 games.
I can't say Kickstarter trying to recreate the PS1 era style visuals. No, fuck off.
I think I think people do it, but not on purpose.
Yeah,
because they're bad.
Yeah.
But I think with the cell processor of the PS3, that's probably going to be one of the biggest hurdles, because I know even in terms of regular emulation, it's very difficult on PC to emulate PS3 successfully.
You think it might just have to be a PlayStation Now thing? Like
I think that's the only option, because there's a lot of PS3 games on PS Now, and especially here in Australia, it's not supported as of yet. But with the recent news, they're opening up in
South Australia,
Australia, and bit of a sort of a not a dev center, it's like a infrastructure center.
Server farm.
Yeah, it's essentially it's an infrastructure server center in Adelaide, which presumably is to support the rollout of PS Now here. Adelaide makes sense, right in the middle of the country. Presumably the East Coast
It's
would
just
work.
the weird thing is it's like going back in time 30 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Australians. So, yeah, and Drew's going to kill us. Or me, I suppose. But no, I think you're 100% right. Like, that's a direction we need to go in, and they're making the right steps. But I hope they can make those older ones work somehow. I know that they won't necessarily look good, but we don't expect them to look good.
Because speaking of PS Now, like the way that PS Now is a subpar platform.
Yeah.
Well, A, because it's not available everywhere, and two, when you compare it to what Xbox are doing with Games Pass, it's just a much better platform. So you are not just getting free games under a monthly subscription. You are also getting older games. So they're kind of filling that void. And with the backwards compatibility of the Xbox One, plug that disc in, that shit just works.
Yeah,
now,
sure.
I don't expect PS5 to have that same level of you put the disc in and it'll just work. I don't think that will be there. I think that's probably a little bit too...
Yeah, you might have to go rebuy that thing.
You may have to rebuy it, but
if they work.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of those...
Especially if they can actually update now so it is more like a Game Pass style service, and maybe you put in your... Was it now with the Ultimate, $15 or something per month?
$15, the Xbox Gold and Games Pass, PC and console.
Yeah. And you get all these PS3 games, the PS4 ones, new releases, PS5. Like, that'd be huge, given that...
Yeah.
And I can maybe understand why PlayStation hasn't gone for it so far, because you compare, say, first-party products and PlayStation shits all over what Xbox is doing.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to right now. Like right now, PlayStation don't need to offer that service. Games Pass and the changes that came with the backwards compatibility of Xbox One, they were very customer-focused moves, but that was only because Xbox was losing.
Yeah.
Like, if they weren't losing, we wouldn't have seen it as quickly as we did. These are pure... I say this not to dismiss what they've done, because what they've done is still fantastic.
What they do, Phil Spencer does.
But those decisions were made entirely around getting good PR and getting people to look at buying Xboxes again.
Yeah. But it also makes me think that PlayStation probably wants to try and get that going from almost day dot this next coming generation, because Xbox is already going there with that established. Everyone knows what it is in terms of the day one buyers or potential day one buyers. People know what Game Pass is. They understand, okay, Xbox is offering this thing and it's a really good service. And they're offering that again. PlayStation, you're not? Well, sweet. I'll just jump straight across there, because now it's back to square one. I'm having to make that choice again.
Yeah, so with Xbox's limited first-party games this year, especially anything of major note, like when you have the option of everything, like it's either 5 games over at PlayStation that are brilliant or everything at Xbox.
Yeah.
And that is the hurdle they've had to face. But saying that though,
they have succeeded.
PlayStation have delivered such an exceptional array of first-party games. It just makes it's weird that brings it in line. Like everything or some has kind of brought them in line.
I mean, Xbox, I think, still for this entire generation has just struggled because of that initial pitch and that message. They've fixed all their messages. They've got some awesome initiatives, but
there are some things that are the detriment to Xbox that moving into the next generation, and one of them is the unification of PC and Xbox.
Yeah,
this is
sales wise,
It doesn't. So because Microsoft are big parties in the PC market and the big parties obviously within the console market of the Xbox, they are just talking to themselves. Everyone thinks that this Xbox cross thing is the biggest achievement ever. It's not. It's just one business talking to each other. Like they're just shaking their own hands, and that's what it is. And for that reason, I don't think it's impressive. I think it's actually going to kill the Xbox. If anything,
doesn't sell the box. They might sell more games, maybe the same number of games, but.
Like it's removing the Xbox as a reliable competitor.
Yeah.
So when the next generation comes out, they're like, hey, here's the new Xbox. Like, yeah, but
I don't even need that box.
Yeah. And that's
if it's something I really desperately want to play with a controller, I could get it on PlayStation. If it's exclusive, I can play it on PC like a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure those antiviruses and those spreadsheets work, right? But
and don't post your Excel spreadsheets up online for everyone to steal.
Yeah, with all that personal
ESA
details.
reference.
Ooh, deep cut, but also recent cut. And that's certainly an issue because but saying that though, if this backwards compatible nature, the idea of Xbox there is no generations anymore.
Yeah.
Everything is just an Xbox game. So that's also going to be an issue for PlayStation if they have that same graph. So if there's no longer a PS5 game, it's just a PlayStation game, which means it should be playable on PS4 and PS5. There's a bit of confusion there. Because my understanding with Xbox will be the same thing. They're like, if you buy an Xbox One game, it's playable on Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, and whatever.
Yeah, it just works on anything and everything.
Yeah, and that it's instantly limiting what these games can do.
Yeah. Because if you've got to keep tailoring it for the lowest, and I guess it's it's like your PC old slider with the low through to ultra high or whatever, but it caps it to an extent because eventually you've either got to cut these people out with their weakest model Xbox or
don't get me wrong, like
the quality,
that is still happening. Like the original VHS Xbox One is no longer even marketable. Like it's on any of their marketing. It's gone. It's done.
But it is still something they actually have to factor in development, though.
That is true. Then now they have to, and I do hope that within the next generation that's something they're going to have to stop thinking about. Just
go down the Apple path eventually. Just go, look, this is the cutoff.
Well, it runs a
2023.
It's 900p. We can't fucking work with it anymore. Go away. PlayStation will have that same hurdle when it comes to PS5 and PS4, depending on what backwards compatibility is, and that will be that hard line of trying to convince people that they need to go to PS5.
Yeah.
As the news broke this week, at time of recording, with over 100 million consoles dropped. On PS4,
it's 100 million people. You got to try.
It's a very tough sell to go to next gen. And as I mentioned in this episode for the players, which you are on, there are people that are still on being like, I don't know whether I should just wait. I'm like, motherfucker, you haven't bought it yet. You're not buying the PS5.
Oh, what games should I buy? Come on.
So like,
had long enough.
Yeah,
7 years.
It's that situation of like, you're not going to wait. Just buy a PS4 and then wait 6 years and then buy a PS5.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, don't fuck around. You're the worst. And there are the people that, the difference is we come at this from a different angle. Like both you and I have been working in this biz for a while, even in our small independent scale. Yeah. So we approach things differently. We look at things differently because of it. So we'll never have that argument of being like, oh, should I? Because we'll be like, well, we're probably going to get day one.
Tequila Mostos.
Yeah, like one or both. Yeah. Like saying that though, like I have no interest in buying an Xbox. Because I haven't.
I probably will.
I bought an Xbox. I bought an Xbox 2 years ago. I've used it like 5 times.
For anything other than watching 4K.
Yeah, nothing. I played Recore on it.
That's balls.
I played Sea of Thieves on it.
Oh, he's going to be able to can all 5 games. Did you play a Halo?
We were given the first code for WWE 2K20 on it, and then I went and bought it. Supermarket Shriek I have on PC.
Oh, yeah, good. Oh, yeah, of course. You play Gears?
I did play Gears on it. I played Gears Ultimate Edition. So the first one. It's 4. What's the 5th one?
Did you try any Halos?
I bought Halo Master Chief Collection.
There you go. Done. Nailed it. Xbox.
Yeah, and like
that's a glaring indictment on what
yeah, and since then I haven't touched it.
Might have played Scalebound.
The option was there. I probably would have considered it, but they took it away from me. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, it was a PlayStation, right? Like the enticing those 100 million people to go across the pond or even just put additional money down is going to be tough. Like yeah, we'll buy day one. I'm 100% buying day one because I'm a big old PlayStation dork.
I'll buy the collector's edition. As it's becoming a far too popular joke at the moment.
It is.
I've dug my own hole in this one.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like I'll be buying that shit day one.
It's like 3 games.
Yeah, but because it was all within like 4 days of each other.
2 days. And I spent like $1,000 on games. Well, future spent. I don't know,
you've laid down.
It's not like they're all coming out the same day. Yeah. So I paid $300 here. Maybe in December I'll pay another $400
here. Just fights me, brother.
March when Final Fantasy comes out, if they actually release that edition, another $400 there.
Yeah, I haven't laid down a collector's edition since Days Gone. I guess it's for the last one. That paid off well for me.
Yeah,
the game's good.
Real good game. Under recognized.
What else is there to talk about for next gen?
The games themselves.
So,
I mean, what do we expect to see?
Oh, a controller.
Yeah, do we need to...
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think there'll be a change?
If it's meant to be forward compatible, then we're going to get the touchpad again, aren't we?
We have to.
Yeah. So that kind of...
Or at least the big button. Maybe not a touchpad, or at least the button.
But there's still games that use you can scroll across.
Yeah, but one of those situations of 98%
unless it's like a little roller thing, like it's all you kind of almost like
one of those old arcade balls,
Yeah. Or like the shitty mice.
Yeah, because I think there will be a point because I know I'm pretty confident that not everything is backwards compatible on Xbox. So I think they're look 80+% 90% of the games ever
It'll just
released.
be like how they pitched changing your PlayStation name.
Yeah.
Most of it's going to work, but here's the
almost
list of
all
things that
games
don't.
will work. However, some games won't, and they'll never will.
And Little Big Planet will probably be on that list again.
Yeah, and they'll be like, we can't make it work because the touchpad is incredibly important.
Just sync up your PS4 controller.
Yeah. Or like we offer support for your PS4 controller if you want to play that.
Yeah. And that's probably their easy workaround.
Yeah. Do you think we'll eventually see like a pro version of the PS4 controller? The same way we see the Xbox
I don't think
Elite?
PlayStation wants a bar of it.
It's very weird.
Like the third party stuff, and you've reviewed one. I don't know if
it's on the room.
You're looking for it?
It's over there. The Razer Reiju tournament.
I won't let you go because you might hurt yourself and I don't know trip on smash your toe. And
yeah, lots
of FTP.
I get a lot of injuries in this room.
But yeah, like the third party stuff, I think they'll just happily let that go on and let's just put out control. We'll put out new colors for it every now and then, and that's that.
So what they've done is so they've essentially partnered with two sort of big guys, like Nakon's one of them and the other is Razer. So like rather than doing it internally and put the R&D there, they've allowed it to go outside and people would be making variants of the same rough design. Saying that though, the Xbox One Elite controller is probably my best console I've ever played. The controller is brilliant.
I've held one. I don't think I've played with one.
That's really good. It's all like a lot of metal in there. And it's very tight. It's very good.
All right, PlayStation. I'll come around. Do it.
Yeah. So like so if they do that in house, totally big time for me. Big time. PSVR.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Will the second one be will the sequel to PSVR be wireless? Does it need to? Do they need to follow the Oculus Quest model?
No, I think
could it even be like could it be like an Oculus Quest where it's actually like a standalone PlayStation unit? Because remember, a Quest, the wireless one currently doesn't even connect to your PC. Like it's got its own store.
But the thing's really heavy and like it.
Oh yeah, and look,
the capabilities of it would be less than the PSVR right now, I presume.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but I mean, with a little bit of extra time up their sleeves, and PlayStation certainly ergonomics wise. PSVR is the most comfortable by a long way.
Just someone with glasses, it is the best headset.
So, I don't know, they could bring those sort of philosophies, but then maybe implement that sort of model. Maybe it doesn't have to be an island, similar to what the Quest is. But
yeah, I don't think that, like, because in terms of the delay, the response time that was required in VR, I don't see it being wireless because, like, especially from your PS4, because that lag time from getting it to the box to your face is going to be a problem.
Well, then I think where maybe if it is like Quest, where it is totally an island, then maybe that's a model they could go down. If they do that, it's fine because then it's all like everything's being processed here, which is probably what makes it heavier.
Yeah, saying that though, like there are times when I'm playing the PSVR and it's wearing the fuck out of that PS4.
Yeah.
So how are they going to fit that level of technology in a headset? Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. I think if they simplify the cable, maybe put the breakout box internally, it's probably a big one for me because the breakout box is dumb. Because I'm rocking PSVR 1.0, so I don't have HDR support when I use it. There's just it's a hot mess.
And like the headphone options, all
those.
Yeah,
you can look at it right now. You can see all the cables down there, and it's the fucking worst.
Yeah, it's the same. My entertainment unit at home it just spills out all over the place.
Actually gross.
But I think I remember Shuhei talking about PSVR when it first came out, and we're treating this like the PS1. And we will support it. We will look to refine and we'll do these sorts of things. And that has me excited for what PSVR can be next gen. I don't know what they could and should do. Like, I think wireless is almost a must, but I can understand if they don't want to go down that path for some of the reasons that you were talking about there. They seemed like developers, PlayStation internally at PlayStation and externally, is starting to, I think, get their head around the do's and don'ts with VR and what you can do and what you can't do. There's still other developers, as we spoke about in FTP with Bethesda, that don't have a clue what they can and should be doing.
They have in the past. I don't want to know this rush job here.
With Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, but I think by and large people are starting to get their heads around the technology and what you can do with it and how to develop for it. Even like the old school approach where with a traditional game you can just kind of develop within the cone that players are going to look at, like I think Horizon did. But then everything else is just black and a mess and it's not there and it just renders what's actually popping up in your field of vision. You can't do that with VR.
No, VR you need to have
at all times because the player can do anything.
Literally sitting in that middle of that room. Yeah.
So it'd be kind of cool how that develops, I think, going forward.
Yeah, in terms of the hardware,
Astrobot 2.
Software would be where it's important. So like what I'm finding with PSVR at the moment is there's moments of nothing. And then I don't use it for like 5 months.
It's always this time of year where you get like 5 or 6
and then there's like, bam, here's like 6-7 games that are notable. And you go, oh, okay, cool.
And you miss some of them. Because
and you miss some of them, or you have a real hard run for like a month and then you stop.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at now. Like I've just done the hard run. There's probably a couple games I want to go back to. Like I wouldn't mind finishing Vacation Simulator. The game's dope. Cyberpunk can suck a dick. It's already finished anyway. It's got credits. But like Trover Saves Universe is another one that sort of caught my interest. What else was something else I played recently too? I forget what it was.
Everybody's
completely.
I mean, you would have messed with
Completely not
everybody's
important.
golf.
But everybody's golf was on there as well. I wouldn't mind trying to chip away at that, pun intended. Yeah, so like I think the big thing they're going to need to do with PSVR is new move controls.
Oh yeah, they got to get rid of that.
There is a downside though, like in terms of where they're at right now. So with the backwards compatible nature of the PS5, presumably, and the fact that they've openly stated that PSVR 1 will support on PSVR, PS5, I should say, that means this light system isn't going anywhere. So there are two things need to change with that. A, you use the Oculus style controls with the more additional buttons, making it more tactile, giving you more hand freedom in a game.
Get developers to put out updates for all their old games and say, hey, but that's ridiculous. It's too much to ask, I think.
No, but there would still need to be that light ball at the top of that hand, and that's fine. Oh, fucking Adobe's yelling at me. Hang on. There we go.
Having a good time with it.
Go away.
It's bothered us all day.
Been bothered us all day, but yeah, so that light bulb will still need to be on there, but even if they just redo the move control with more tactile buttons, so more tactility, whatever the fucking term is, thumbsticks on there is a big one, would be really nice. But they can keep the ball there, that's fine. Yeah. And if they want to do that, create the support for a second camera.
Yeah, that could work.
So, one of the biggest problems you have right now is because
you get in a dead spot.
Because it uses that light. And for any reason that, like, if you turn around, your body covers that light, that hand goes missing. Yeah, that goes missing completely, and that kind of limits that freedom of VR. So if you can have like a secondary camera that may be run by it's just camera signals, not very. Make that wireless. Plug a little dongle into your back of your PS5. Sorry, chuck the camera behind you on the wall. So we've got one there, one there. You'll never
covers
miss.
You for everything. Yeah,
never miss.
That's handy idea. It's not what I've thought about because it's a big VR issue. It's one that we mess around.
We played in here, so like so a lot of the games that we stream when we do stream VR games, we do it in here in this room, and it's not a very big room, but like we've got the camera there. There's a bit of the cone of the camera is not short. It's just sometimes it craps the bed.
Yeah, because of the amount of space you've got means that there's little areas that kind of get chopped off or obscured or whatever,
Whether that be in addition, like, putting two cameras at the front or sort of changing the camera in some capacity, because I think that could do with a refresh as well. I think it only picks up at like so much resolution. Yeah. And even that, even internal of the headset itself, like it's, only 1080p, jack that up a little bit, less screen door effect, which if you're playing a good game, you don't need to notice anyway.
Yeah. Lots of just little tweaks for the most part.
Yeah, so PSVR as a whole is still probably one of the easiest VR systems to use, but just those minor tweaks here and there would make it a nice improvement.
Let's start talking games. Yeah. What are we going to see kind of early days? Are we going to get the run of remasters and ports like we did last gen? Are we going to see The Last of Us 2 remastered? Are we going to see Part 2 remastered? Are we going to see Death Stranding, Spider-Man, all those sort of things? The
difficulty over that would be with that compatibility idea. Yeah. I think we'll see a lot of paid patches. Yep, potentially, as in like, hey, if you want to upgrade this to what PS5 can do, $20. Drop you $20.
We did see aspects of that early.
Yeah, like
because Call of Duty, I think, did it.
Yeah, I think Call of Duty did it.
Fantastic Call of Duty game.
Like an example was with using Xbox was I think it was Forza.
Yep.
So if you had it, the game you put the disc in, it would get ding. Oh, you've got an Xbox One S. Here's this patch. If you've got an Xbox, so here's the game.
And that'd be
if you've got an Xbox One X. Okay, here's the patch for your 4K assets, and there it is. Cool. It's like
that'd be the ideal thing where you don't have to fork out anything extra. Just recognize, hey, you got this game, you're putting it in this box. Yep. There's this patch that's available for it. Go for it.
And I think that's probably the safest sort of thing way.
Does kind of like, I mean, in the same way that when we put a game into the original PS4 versus say the Pro, and you're using a Pro, do you want to commit those extra resources to resolution, graphics, or what's the other one? Resolution.
Yeah, resolution. Yeah.
You obviously don't have that. That doesn't even become a thing for you on the older model. So you can still implement that. Like they've clearly demonstrated capacity work in that sort of model, that sort of idea. They can differentiate. So
the only problem, the problem is like with those older games that aren't supported. Yeah, so I would like to. I remember when they announced there's all of.
If for nothing else, they're still 1080, and that's all right.
Yeah, well, yeah. So as long as they.
It's not going to get worse.
If they support at least the first party games, it's probably going to be a bonus. Yeah. Anything additional is up to the personal developer, which I think Xbox made the exact same statement. Yeah. About around the launch of the X. Yeah, so I think that's probably the safest bet. I don't think we'll see... If compatibility is what they say that it is, we'll probably not see many quote-unquote remasters.
Yeah, because, I think you guys were talking on your show recently with Dying Light 2 was in that exact weird sort of murky spot where, we'll support both, but they're not really outlining how they're going to support both.
Yeah, they didn't specify whether it was, one disc.
Buy your PS4 version, it instantly translates to PS5, whether they're both going to be available. I can understand why they'd go with both, because maybe you don't have a PS4. So... We'll put both out there because then
it makes sense in terms of marketing. If with
and they'll absolutely get some more sales. No, but I got it on PS4. I want to get the better version on PS5.
Yeah,
that's exploitative, but it's a tactic that'll work.
But with the PC architecture nature of the PS4 and particularly the PS5, they can do it's a lot easier to make multiple SKUs now than it ever was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can, save as .ps5.
Yep. That's exactly how that's how development works, as far as I know. You just write.
I've interviewed a lot of people for Dev Diary, and they all keep telling me it's the same thing. I get my one version for mobile, and I just .ps4, and it upscales everything. And all of a
it's
sudden,
beautiful. No great. Extra work. It's like you just type in Google character model, and then you get Nathan Drake. It's that easy.
We're the worst. You probably could with Nathan Drake. He's pretty cookie cutter.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find.
But yeah, so
development's a lot harder than we just made.
We love you guys.
Big fans.
So the PlayStation franchise that we've known and loved, some that have released this gen, maybe ones from even the past. What do we need to see coming across to PS5? Let's assume for the sake of it that say Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, all those big ones, God of War, they all get remastered.
Yes,
so
any of the most recent releases are coming. So I think obviously
we'll see Bloodborne come across.
Ghost of Tsushima will be on that list too because it's been right on the cusp. I think the best way to example is to look at this of what the studios are doing. So we won't see anything. At least, are you talking launch year or at all?
Let's just talk full stop.
So I think we will certainly see.
We can maybe refine as we're talking. Yeah. I expect this to be.
Yeah, we will certainly see a God of War sequel as an example.
Yeah,
Santa Monica delivered a perfect game, and there's no way they'll let that be. In a good way.
Oh, they've already implied that.
There's already enough in God of War to.
Corey Ballard, come on, Dev Diary, mate.
Do it, please.
David Jaffe, stop replying to me. It's not happening at the moment.
Oh no!
I want it to happen so desperately.
But there's enough there to set up a sequel, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna do gangbusters. No concern at all.
It's been long enough. It's gonna have Thor in it.
Yeah, spoilers.
From the MCU.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. God of War. You heard it here first. So that's a given. Spider-Man 2 is going to be a given as well. Yeah. The big difference is these two aren't games you're not going to see for a while. The difficult part the PlayStation have...
Spider-Man 2 I could foresee coming out within the first year.
It's possible. Depends on what they're adding to it. But yeah, because they've built Manhattan. Is Manhattan?
They'll just add...
They add other islands and stuff to it.
Necessary.
The base systems are there to sort of bring over Spider-Man, so that's possible.
And mechanically, the swinging system, everyone comments on how good those are and how well they worked. So the fact that they're already ready straight out the gate just makes things a lot easier for that transition. Half the tech's already good to go. It's just develop a story, develop new islands and whatever it is, refine the visuals, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Put new suits in there like the Tobey Maguire ones. And
I don't see it in launch window, maybe 2021, 2022 probably is more realistic because that would put 3 years between it.
Yeah, bullish about it. I mean, obviously the console will be 2020, so 2021 would be the absolute latest, I reckon.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because firstly how Insomniac works, they just churn stuff out of really high quality. They've never had an issue since they first started doing Spyro back in the day. They just knock these games out. Excellent quality. No, was maybe Spider-Man the longest gap between a big proper release for them. There was Sunset Overdrive, but then they released Ratchet and Clank in the middle.
Fuck, they did too.
So even then, it probably would have still been 2 years between a release out of. Now, admittedly, they've got different multiple teams, but it means that you're always getting stuff from Insomniac. And they would have been doing their VR games in the middle as well.
Yep.
For Oculus. So they're a machine.
They're doing well.
And yet they're still considered one of the best places to work, full stop. Not just in the games business, full stop.
Yeah, the crunch and in terms of that, they're just working well.
And yet they're just piling these games out with no issue. They're an incredible studio. Yeah. All right, time to go speak to Insomniac for Dev Diary. Ted Price.
The issue that we're going to
face. You say you gave me your address.
If you have a spreadsheet, we don't. If you don't respond.
Media.
We'll make it work.
I got the other list.
The problem that we're going to have is PlayStation was really quiet at the start of PS4. Like all the first parties were kind of nowhere to be seen. So then in the joy for us as the players, it was very back-end heavy, which is great. But that also means PS5 is going to have a slow start. Like we'll probably see a lot from like Studio Japan and stuff like that. There's sort of like the more spread teams like Sony London probably have a lot to come out. What it will be, don't know.
The Getaway.
I think Blood and Truth. Blood and Truth is just the Getaway
3,
yeah, so good. But you know,
such a good game.
We're not going to see like.
And that was probably the one you were thinking about before too. Blood and Truth, the VR game.
Oh yeah, Blood and Truth. Yeah, there you go. Blood and Truth is so good.
We got there.
But like Santa Monica we're not going to see for a little while.
Naughty Dog
they'll make Last of Us, and then we'll probably not hear.
Maybe
from
they'll
for
do a DLC
while.
thing similar to Left Behind.
Potentially.
And so then when the remaster comes across, those things
there's an incentive that collector's edition, for a complete edition.
But then you might just get like we'll remaster it across, and then the DLC comes out a month or two later, and that's on PS4 and PS5.
Yeah. What else
so
we got?
new release on PS5.
Bend will be quiet for a while.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot.
They'll do Days Gone too.
Days Gone's dope, and the little teasers at the end of that, for the sequel.
It's the PR team that need to get whacked for how Days Gone played out. In terms of how early they got it to people, the reviews.
Yes, I think in terms of like we got it.
Because it sent a message to people early on, and that it was, 6, 7, and
so we got a day
it's still
one.
Not a 10, but
so
I
think you got a day one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the same.
So we're very lucky that we kind of got a lot of the updates that most of the other games press didn't. And I for that reason I played it over a 2-month window.
Yeah,
because it's a fucking dense game. But if you had to play that for 3 weeks,
smash that in a week or whatever.
Smash that in 3 weeks, to get especially when it was broken. It's not good, not very good.
Yeah, I think it was just it was a flawed way to roll that game out.
Yeah.
Because the game itself, brilliant.
Yeah, when you sort of pull back from it and you look at it as a whole, the game's rad. So I think they'll be back behind the scenes ticking away and stuff for a long while.
Sucker Punch will be a while because
Sucker Punch with Tsushima comes out 2020.
So we've already spoken about Spider-Man. I'm bullish about the fact that Guerrilla will also be out the gates pretty early on.
Well,
my gut says it's Horizon 2.
Guerrilla
there's obviously that speculation that maybe they'll go back to Killzone or something like that as well. That maybe like they're in a bigger studio now. Because
wasn't there mention that they hired enough for a second team? Yeah.
So maybe they're going to try and juggle both, but I still feel like Horizon 2 might be first. And that was
potentially
2017. It's
like Shadowfall was.
We haven't 2020, maybe 2021. That's more than long enough. Yes, sure, there's new technology, but I mean, Kojima's doing a lot of the legwork for him with some of the stuff that he would be discovering as he's developing Death Stranding that they're then taking, and it's their engine that he's working on. So that's going to help. So I wouldn't rule out, within that first 12 months that we're seeing both Spider-Man and Horizon 2.
And like we haven't seen Shadow. Like the last time we saw Killzone was Shadowfall. And like launch year was like 2014, 2013. Yeah. So I think that'd be very possible for the next one to be Killzone, especially as PlayStation are lacking that first party
the first
shooter.
Yeah. Personally, I'd love to see it be Resistance instead of Killzone.
Me too.
But
I'd be up for Resistance.
I'll will that into existence.
Who else we got? I'm trying to go through my brain.
I'll speak to Ted Price about that too.
Sony San Diego. They'll continue to make awesome baseball games. Apparently, they've got a second team up and running right now.
Yeah, and the report is that they're working on Uncharted, which. I mean, I'm all for more Uncharted as long as it's not Nathan Drake. I love Nathan Drake, but I don't want anyone to kind of now tamper with the
I don't think I'm going to pull up all the
legacy of that.
First parties.
And then you've got other studios like, the name's just gone blank, but they're the ones working on Concrete Genie. We're not going to see them for a while. Yeah, it's gone. I had it there in my head, but it's gone.
Hang on, they liked one of my tweets earlier.
Oh, did they?
Pixel Opus.
Yes, there we go. Because they did Entwined early on. That was a you can buy it now thing at an E3 conference a few years back, and then Concrete Genie's their follow up. And is apparently from those who went to go play it at previews, pretty good. Yeah.
So our good friend Joel from Anagame, go check it out. He went out how to play. Let's see. So Ben, we mentioned Japan. We're working on a bunch of little stuff. London studio, who knows? What's Northwest Studio?
It's another new studio that we don't know anything about. But they've been in incubation for a long time.
San Diego, as we mentioned, Uncharted
and
baseballs.
they'll do MLB and all that.
San Mateo Studio, Santa Monica, as I
What's
mentioned.
the San Mateo Studio?
I don't know. Have a look in a sec. Media Molecule. They'll be still trying to finish Dreams before they get fucking canned.
They'd be wise at this point. They basically just use what's going on with the PS4 as like a beta, and then everything is good to go day one of PS5.
Yeah, they're not going to do well. Naughty Dog, Pixel Opus.
If they're if they're one of the only few games that are coming out day one, like Dreams on PS5 is one of the only, like there's a box there on the shelf that says Dreams, and it's surrounded by a few third parties. You know, it'll have Call of Duty, it'll have Battlefield, it'll have FIFA.
Yeah,
people are going to buy that because it's a PlayStation exclusive game.
Yeah, Polyphony, of course.
That'll be
Gran Turismo.
Yeah, they're due because sports now been a few years.
Yeah, Sucker Punch, and that's about it, really.
Obviously, they take a long time.
Yeah. See, this is the problem that Polyphony's that Gran Turismo is going to face as Polyphony as well. Like, with the guys behind Forza, who's Playground?
Oh, yeah, Playground and Turn 10.
Yeah, like, their ability to flip over games is astounding.
Well, there is two different teams. Like, Turn 10 does the motorsport, and then...
Well, yeah,
still 2 years.
Yeah, Turn 10 get it done within 2 years. And they're awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Forza is probably one of the standout franchises on
Xbox. This latest gen.
So, like, Polyphony need to pick up their game in order to be relevant. Like, their cost to delivery is disgusting.
Yeah. They need to crunch.
Yeah, they need to do something. Because even when GT when GT Sport came out, didn't deliver.
Yeah, it wasn't all that good.
Wasn't very good.
The VR thing was what kind of sold me and maybe a few others.
Yeah,
I'd imagine. Just hang on, I'll try a race.
I tried it then.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
It didn't go very well.
Many people. PlayStation older IP that maybe they're just gathering a bit of dust that you'd like to see come back. Any in particular? I've got two. We've already spoken about Resistance, so we're clearly on the same page there. Any others that?
Well, Siphon Filter would be cool.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
I figured that might come up.
But saying that with the connection Siphon Filter has today is gone, it's kind of already there.
The connection that has.
So
I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about Siphon.
Okay, so in Siphon Filter, there's there's a mention of like this virus.
Oh, okay, right.
And there's like only good hints in the game implying that the virus from Siphon Filter is the one that brought on the Freakers.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty clever.
Yeah,
good.
It's very cool.
I understood what they were telling me in Days Gone, but I didn't realize it actually connected to something else. That's kind of cool.
So I like that a lot.
Have they actually said officially that?
A little bit here and there.
It's just kind of maybe.
Yeah, it's a little bit here and there.
Infamous. Let's get Infamous back.
Yeah, like Second Son was cool.
Was great.
I think if it would have to be someone that wouldn't be.
No, they'd have to recruit.
It wouldn't be Sucker Punch.
Yeah, get in the same sort of vein that we're talking about with Uncharted.
Yeah,
get another studio in, and it's a good opportunity. Like you bring a new studio into the fold, and we obviously people are regularly talking about you're struggling.
Yeah, that's right. Just getting stiff.
What does PlayStation need to bring into the family? Because we see Xbox recruiting left, right, and center.
Yeah,
they can either build a studio, maybe San Mateo or whatever it was.
Yeah, we should probably look at what that was,
or like bring another studio into the fold and give them that license, and then keep them situated close to a Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch, whoever it is that's responsible for the particular IP that you're giving them, to be there to kind of guide them a little bit, steer them a little bit. They don't have to be directly involved because they've got their own projects.
Well, apparently Mateo have not done anything.
Okay, so they're one of those new studios.
Yeah.
Right. In another expensive part of the US, like not San Mateo, not that far from SF, and SF's super expensive. But whatever, I mean,
hey, it's the thing. So this is the thing. Like with Xbox's decision to buy out all these studios, it comes from. That doesn't come from a. I don't think it comes from a creative standpoint.
There's a bit of desperation.
It comes from desperation. It comes from wanting to lock people down. Because one of our biggest problems that everyone says is our first party selection. So if we put things in place to make that not an issue, like buying
we've
all
got
these
plenty,
names.
but they may not be. Yeah, they may not
like
be.
And everyone they've purchased so far, they're very mid tier. It's more like, well, they may have potential, but
the only ones out of that you could really Obsidian and Ninja Theory.
Yeah, like Obsidian's probably a biggie, but they've also always been like AA games.
Yeah,
which is not a problem, but it just means like
my gut with them is they've just never had the support they require.
Correct. With the right amount of money, with the right amount of ability behind them, they can pump out.
They've got the talent. They just need the time.
Something
and money.
dope.
Ninja Theory have kicked goals with almost everything they've done. Starting with Heavenly Sword, they nailed it with Enslaved. DMC is divisive, but in terms of what it is, if you can ignore the fact that some people may not like the direction they went in, really solid game. And
there's also, I think purchase of Ninja Theory is also a mild kick in the dick at PlayStation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Granted,
PlayStation should have done it.
Hellblade, total good purchase, like total brilliant game, and but then picking up Ninja Theory was a good business decision. But I do think the extra part of that is we did what you couldn't.
Yeah, or wouldn't. Yeah,
wouldn't.
Yeah. Are there other IP at all that you'd like to see them dust off?
I would like to see
PS2, PS1, whatever.
Well, I would like. This is more of a remastery thing rather. It's not PlayStation exclusive, but I would like to see Metal Gear removed from its cave.
That's one. Now I did a little feature for Player 2 recently, looking at studios that PlayStation should buy, and I mentioned Bluepoint, which we've had there's those conversations. They obviously did Shadow of the Colossus and all those sort of ports over the journey.
Yeah,
they were working apparently, or they've got ideas for their own IP as well.
Yes, apparently.
But they're also working on something.
Yeah, Bluepoint are working on something now, but no one knows what it is. The last rumor I think was Metal Gear Solid Remake, which kind of unlikely. The other one was Demon Souls.
Yeah, which they're both prominent
cool.
games. They're going to sell well. They'll be fine. That's going to be good. Yeah,
because that's the biggest.
To see a new IP,
that is the biggest problem we're going to face if backwards compatibility, depending on the capabilities of backwards compatibility. There are so many games that are just trapped. On PS3, trapped on PS2, and I think that would be the next big thing is untrap these games.
Yeah. Do we see a sequel to The Order 1886
with Remedy? Ready at Dawn.
Ready at Dawn.
I think it's possible. We heard a bit about it this week.
Yeah, there was the conversation with one of the guys from Sucker Punch who'd done some time at Ready at Dawn during that period. And then it sounds like there was maybe some mixed messages in terms of the way people are actually interpreting that. It sounds like maybe that's not the case, or at least it was drafted but seems to be scrapped or whatever.
I imagine
they're busy doing their Oculus stuff.
Yeah, I imagine they've always had the plans to do a sequel, but whether it happens or not.
Another one I'll will into existence.
I haven't played it. It's on a stack of games somewhere over there that I picked up for $8. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, The Order, you mean?
Yeah, The Order, yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you meant there was something else in there.
No.
What is it?
No, I haven't picked it up. I haven't played it yet. I think that was more of a showcase of what PS4 could do.
Yeah,
and I don't think it was maybe not entirely meant to be that way, but it became that. So I think it's possible, but the difficulty is having it be technically a second party makes it a bit tougher to sort of get over the line.
Yeah. Anything else you want to see added to the PS5 or the missing, whether it's games or hardware things, software things, a firmware update?
Yeah, more system stability.
Yeah.
We don't have enough of that. What I've been talking this whole time.
Let's keep looking after them trophies. Let's keep building that up.
Yeah, look, it's very funny. As more recently, probably in the last 8 months, I'd say, not even. I've randomly taken this weird turn. I'm not a trophy hunter like you or friends of the show.
No, but
Dylan
I'm still not even
close
to Dylan and Buddy. Those guys are churning out platinums left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So I'll play a game and I enjoy that game. Sweet, I'll chase down as many as I can. If the platinum's attainable, I'll go for it. But if not, whatever, I'll move on. I've got a lot of trophies that's still going to boost my level.
But yeah, within the last year, and then
the exception is my name is Mayo.
I'll get that shit. When we made the active decision as under Pop C to cover the games that we want to, rather than there was a period of time where we would just pick games whatever thought that we would do well or get clicks, that sort of stuff, and the decision was no, we play what we want.
Yep. And
for that reason, it's actively changed how I sort out games. So part of that had come down to the achievement system. I think that's part of the reason I don't play my Switch anymore. Because there's no achievement system.
Has no achievements whatsoever.
And
give me that star power.
Yeah, and even though it's good, even though I enjoy just getting credits on a game and whatnot, but
actually they should make it star power and talk about your power level, and then when it gets over 9,000, that's when you start memeing out.
But there is something about that metagame, something about trophies.
Yeah.
Even though I don't trophy hunt, I'll still pull up the trophy list, on a game, even Youngblood as an example.
Yeah, you still give a bit of
game's balls. I'm well, how achievable is this? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I played Etherborn recently, which was a little puzzle game, only 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And I thought the concept was great, but I think I spoke about it in the patched updates recently. Thought the game was great, but just not nearly enough of it. But I finished it and then realized, oh wait, it's just a new game plus run to get the platinum with a trophy guide or a walkthrough that'll take me about half an hour. So I'm just, when I get 10 minutes, I'll just knock out another level of it and just keep popping those to get that plat.
Well, I did the same thing with Spider-Man. I really enjoyed Spider-Man, and I was like, I only have 5 trophies left because by the time I finished the campaign, I'm like,
I'll chase him down.
I'll chase him down.
It took a while, but you got there.
Well, it's only because a bunch of other games came in the way, and then I was like,
you're busy.
Yeah. And I hated this Taskmaster shit.
Oh, yeah.
But the second one I realised...
Still not as bad as what's her name from the DLC.
Yeah. I haven't done the DLC ones yet.
The old... Oh, no, I'm not talking about even the trophies. I'm just talking about the girl from it.
The cat? Saber? No, not Saber.
No. She was like some streamer girl.
Who? Oh, yeah. I remember her.
One of the villains that pops up and she's stupid little active... Oh. I wanted to pop every trophy in the DLCs, and then I just realised that she's like... I can't cope with it.
The big difference was because once I actually read the trophy, and it was like, get challenging or whatever the expert was on like 2 of them, not all of them. Like, okay.
Yeah, you take a bit of breath.
That's totally achievable. Yeah, but trophies are huge, and I think adding some additional rewards around trophies is certainly would be advantageous in this.
Every 10 plats, you get sent a real life platinum.
I wouldn't go that far because I've seen the real life platinum, and it is fantastically gorgeous. Awesome. But I mean,
they can just send out one of those glass platinum mugs. Those.
Yeah.
I got one of them.
But even like campaigns like that, like PlayStation Australia did with the real
really
platinum.
Cool. And I don't think did anyone else do that? I don't think so.
No, it was Australian.
It's a really, really cool little way to approach it.
So that's a big thing. That's awesome. Super awesome. I did press them for one and didn't go well. Obviously, because it'd be on the middle of this.
Yeah, it'd be right here, knock this shit out of the way and get out PS1.
Yeah, I'm like, can I get one? Doesn't even have to be metal. Just make it plastic and
just get a
I'll 3D print it. Just give me the file. I'll 3D print it.
Done.
Because I'm not going to do all the hard work for it. But some of the things that did, for some reason, I never got the emails about them though. It must be a box I have not ticked somewhere. Like when you do get the platinums on like Horizon or Spider-Man.
Oh, and you get sent the little exclusive avatar.
Exclusive little avatar. Like that, little rewards like that is an extra cool thing. Yeah. And I think there should be more of that. It's
a good way to close things out there. There's lots and lots for PlayStation to be doing. We've gone a hell of a long time talking about some awesome.
Yeah, you could break some into a couple of episodes.
We'll just call this for the players next week and give Josh a week off.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Where should people go? I mean, we're here on the set. It's probably pretty straightforward, but you might be listening on a podcast service. So where should people go to catch up with all things Popculturists? Yeah, so
everything we do is on YouTube at youtube.com/thepopculturists. That's POPCULTURISTS.
Does it far too often then.
Yeah. We are also on podcast services as well. You can find us under For the Players, the Pop Culture PlayStation podcast. If you're more of a wrestling fan, check out Young and the Wrestlers. That's also on your search choice. My son's woken up, so he's making a bunch of noise out there.
Ready for a bit of wrestling.
If you want to follow me specifically on Twitter, head over to HaggardMC.
He says good things.
That's HAGGARDMC. Follow this trial and tribulation of my boo pain.
I couldn't spell out my name that quickly, and people like you, and you're not the only one. Yeah. Like, especially when I hear like Dylan from Explosion Network do like himself or Ashley Hobley. Just, AHS, like, I can't do my own name that quick, and you guys just churn it out like that.
It's practice. We've been doing this a long time, brother.
For the Players every Monday.
Yeah, For the Players every Monday morning, 9 a.m. on YouTube's 8 a.m. on the podcast services. Young the Wrestlers every Friday, but that will change because
little scheduling things.
So
make it a bit easier.
Bit of inside baseball. So Fox have bought SmackDown, the rights to SmackDown. Right. So they're moving it from a Tuesday to a Friday in the US, which fixes our scheduling. So we will be jiggering that come October.
That makes sense.
But yeah.
If you've enjoyed that PlayStation, then make sure to absolutely go check out the stuff. It's awesome. In terms of Player 2 and Patched, make sure to visit the website player2.net.au. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Visit the Patreon. Oh, hang on, you got a Patreon as well.
Yeah, we do. patreon.com/popculturists. We're really bad at delivering any extra stuff, so for us it's pretty much...
You can watch live.
Yeah, pretty much. You get
more often than not I do, because it means that I don't have to wait till Monday when I'm running around like mad for work.
Because we're big fans of our community, obviously, and community interaction. So we do offer that to our Patreon supporters to come and watch the show live. That means get involved with the show. So as the show goes on, you can comment, you can get involved, and we'll read out what you have to say on the show.
The Player 2 one, early access to a whole bunch of videos, monthly exclusives. Go and check all that out. And then there's Twitter. There's me, Paul James Games. The website's Player2AU. We've already gone through yours, but repeat it again.
That's at HaggardMC, HAGGARDMC.
Smart ass. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.